We've designed our notebook. We have added tabs across the top. We have set up our master inbox. We have set up our monthly dashboard. Today, I'm going from the master dashboard of the month all the way to the daily page. I want to get those daily pages started, so let's get to it. Hi everyone, this is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today we are going to focus on our daily page. I know I'm jumping around from thing to thing, but I had a thought, I had an idea, some things that I wanted to update on my daily page as I was working on it yesterday, and I want to get that filmed. So, I know this might be a little bit out of order, but that's okay. I'm going to put all of these videos in the 2026 playlist so that you will be able to find them when you are looking for them. Okay? All right. Well, if that sounds interesting to you, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Hit that like button below. Please subscribe if you have not already. Leave me a comment if you have something that you would like to share with everyone. And please feel free to share this video with anybody that you might think would find it helpful. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in. On my screen here, you see my monthly dashboard. We created this in the last video. We also have created our monthly inbox page, and I talked to you a little bit about the tags that I use there. We also went and created our notebook background, and we put all of these tabs up here at the top. We set this page as a page template, so any new page that I create will have this background, okay? So, for example, if I'm on my master list here, my master inbox, and I say add a new page to this section, when I do that, you see it will come up with a blank page with my black notebook with all of my tags across the top, okay? This one we are going to call our 2026 daily page. Okay, and we're going to work on our template. All right, now for those of you who have followed me a while, you know that one of the templates that I have used a lot is the Franklin Planner page. And if you want to see how and why I created that, there is a video on that called, the Franklin Planner and how to build the Franklin Planner. I'll leave those linked for you if you would like to create that. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to grab the last Franklin Planner pages that I used from December of last year, and we are going to make some modifications to this, okay? So I'm going to grab this entire container, and I'm going to make a copy of it, and I'm going to take it back to my 2026 planner, and I am going to paste it on this page right here. Okay, just like so. Now I want to make some modifications. Let's see, first of all, my pages this year are a little bit bigger, and that's okay. So I can adjust the container to go almost all the way to the edge if I want to. Okay, now one of the things that I wanted to change in my daily page is I wanted to look at the roles and responsibilities. So really your weekly compass, that thing that helps you guide, what you're supposed to do every week and every day. I have all the way over here on the far right-hand side, much like the Franklin Planner paper version does. Okay, so what is the most important thing that I can do in this role? The first thing that I want to do is I want to take out the date, because I don't want to keep adding the date every day. And then I'm going to look at these sections, sharpening the saw, things that I can do physically. I don't know why I left first day hike in there, but I did. It needs to come out. I need to keep doing my walking training, looking at my diet, taking my medication, getting 8 hours of sleep, hydrating, and I want to add in here, record my data. Okay, because I have all of this information and I want to make sure that I am intentionally looking at it, taking it out of the information from my Garmin watch and moving it into my OneNote so that I can see that, so that the doctors can see that, and they can see, how much weight I'm losing and what my numbers are, and, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm adding record my data as something that I want to do. Okay. Social and emotional, what I do for that section is I add any events that I'm going to, whether it's game day with friends, whether it's going to a festival or a concert or something like that. Anything that I'm out and about, being social with my friends, or emotional, primarily talking to my husband about things. He is my great sounding board. So I want to put that on there. For mental, I want to make sure that I get plenty of rest and that I planned everything. Planning for me is a very mental thing because it helps me take all of the clutter that's happening inside of my head. I get it out on paper, and then I'm a lot less stressed about, well, what am I supposed to do today? All I have to do is open my planner. I've planned my week. I know the big things, those hard landscape items that I'm supposed to do, and then I can fit the other stuff around that. Okay? Spiritually, I like to spend time in nature. I live in the woods. If it's too cold to go out, like it is today, I certainly can at least sit and look out the window, watch the birds, watch the chipmunks, that kind of thing. Okay? Also, I have a value system that I like to review from time to time. Look at the things that I value in life, honesty, integrity, those kinds of things. And that's kind of a spiritual thing for me to do as well. And self reflection, I put in this section. If I have a bad day, I try not to tear myself up about it. I have to say, well, it's okay. There's always tomorrow. I can try and do better tomorrow at getting things done, or, the way I handle the situation or something like that. Okay. So that's how I take care of myself. The next part is all of the roles that I have, all the hats that I wear in my life. For example, I am a spouse and a mom. And so, what are the big rocks? What are those big, important things that I need to do on this day or for this week that will help me be a better spouse or a better mom? Okay. Same thing for friends. What do I need to do for my friends, with my friends? How do I reach out to them? How do I make that connection? And then for Crystal Clear Life, or CCL, as you'll see it written in here, what videos do I need to work on? What comments do I need to respond to? What products am I working on? That kind of thing. Okay. My role is as a communications person at church. Do I have different things that I have to get ready for that? I have weekly, church services that I run and that kind of thing. So I will add that. Creative. What is the main creative project that I'm working on? I like to list that here and what steps in that project that I'm actually doing. And then down here, I'm going to add another role that says home and garden. You might want it to say living environment or something like that. But what are the big things that I need to get done at the house, here, or out in my garden? Okay. And I'm going to leave big rocks for that as well. Okay. Let's see. So I think that takes care of the weekly compass of things that I wanted to update. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to update is I thought about the daily tracker that's way over here underneath the prioritized list. And I put the daily tracker over here so that as I'm going back and checking off the things that I got done today, I would be able to list information on here in my daily tracker. Last year, I had walking down here. I don't want to put walking here. I have walking on my health and fitness page, so we're going to get rid of that. But what I do want to add on here is I do want to put my daily win, okay? And I want to put gratitude, and I want to put acts of kindness. I do think that we all need a little bit more kindness in the world. So this will be a place for me to write down how people were kind to me or how I was able to be kind to other. Okay? So I think that's important. Okay? I can also add other things down here if I want to, like if I wanted to, list maybe what my biggest struggle was for the day or something like that. I could put that here as well. Okay, but I think I'm going to leave it for those three for now. Okay, moving across the bottom of the page, daily planning. This is something that the Franklin Planner has on their pages, printed on their pages, and they're printed there to help people know what is best for daily planning. Checking your daily appointments, whether you use a Google Calendar or your regular planner that you're using in OneNote, making a realistic list of tasks. So that's over here. Here's your list of prioritized tasks. Okay. The top two things that I do every day is planning and walking. Um, and then you can list other things that you might need to do. Maybe it's an appointment, maybe it's something from your monthly dashboard page or your weekly task that you want to get done, something from your compass list, all of that kind of thing. You prioritize those. And then, it's a realistic list because you look at how much time you actually have to get things done. It's not realistic if you put 15 things on your list and you only have 3 hours to get that done. Okay. And then those list items get prioritized 1, 2, 3. Okay. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. A being the most important, 1 being the most important. So A1 is the most important thing. For me, that is planning every day. And then A2, the second most important thing, is walking. And then B1, usually for me, is whatever the main appointment or activity that I have to do today. Today, it was filming. And so that's what I'm doing here today. Okay. All right. I want to get rid of these things on this list because these things are ingrained in me. I know to do daily planning. But what I want to do on here is I want to add my morning routine, and I'm going to change these items that are here. Okay. So I have medication that I have to take every morning. And then if I hit the tab key, breakfast, um, getting dressed, and feed the birds, and sweep the porch, and, things like that. Clean the kitchen, and start laundry. Okay, so those are my main things that I do first thing in the morning. Okay, um, another thing that I do first thing in the morning is prep dinner, and that might mean, taking something out of the freezer, setting up the crock pot, whatever it happens to be, going through the refrigerator and looking for what leftovers we're eating, whatever that happens to be. Okay, so that's pretty much my morning routine. Um, I'm going to add in here breakfast and walk because I do that right after I eat breakfast or right before, depending on, what's going on. Okay, and dressed means shower and, dressed and all that stuff. Okay, and then for weekly planning, guess what I'm going to put over here? Well, I'm going to make that my evening routine. So let's change that to evening routine. Okay, and let's see. Those items would be things like okay, so the evening routine would be, again, clean the kitchen from dinner and sweep the kitchen floor and check my email. I like to check my email in the evening because, as the church communication person, I check it in the morning and then I usually check it in the evening in case there's a prayer request or something like that. Okay. I do a planner update, checking off the things that I accomplished during the day. Um, in my house, I do a 10-minute tidy, which is walking around basically and resetting, folding the blankets, putting the pillows away, putting any dishes away, locking the doors, all that kind of stuff. So 10-minute tidy, getting things presentable for the next day. Um, I will finish any laundry that still needs to be done. Maybe it's dry now and I just have to fold it and put it away. And then I take my PM medication and then bedtime. And I like to read before bedtime, so I'm going to put actually read in here and then bedtime. Okay. All right. So that's kind of my evening routine. All right. Now, if I wanted to, let's see. Do I like the way these look on the page? Would I like to combine my routines? Let me try something. Let me make a copy of these. Let me say cut, paste. All right. So if I put my routines together like this into one little section, I kind of like that. And that still leaves me more space here if I need to add more and more notes. I could color code these if I wanted. I think I'll wait and do that on each, week that I get around to, because I don't want to mess with the decor and all of that kind of stuff. So let's see. All right. And I think I'm going to like this space over here because I'm really wanting to start adding like, a daily photo or something like that. So I'm going to have space for that to kind of go over here as well. Um, we'll see how that works. Okay, so I have my routine. Now, the other thing that I saw on another page that I had done, what was it, a couple years ago, actually. Let me see if I can find the page. As I look back over the other things that I've done, I was looking at an old daily template and I kind of liked the mood tracker and how I was feeling that day and how much energy I had and the weather. These are all icons that I created in PowerPoint. There's a video about that if you'd like to see that. But what I'm going to do here is I'm simply going to copy them and take them back to the page I was working on in 2026. Okay, and I think I'm going to turn the um, grid lines on here so you can see them under table. Uh, let's see, let's show the grid lines up here. So I think that I am going to add these right up here. Let's see, is that going to work? Yeah, like so. And then I can go back to 2025 and I can grab the mood tracker or the energy level and I can copy that and we'll paste that right underneath like so. And again, I can make this bigger if I want it to fill up the space like that. And then I can also go and let's grab that weather right there. So we'll copy that and we'll take that back to 2025. And maybe I want to put the weather like up here. How do we like it up there? And then give ourselves a space. Give ourselves a space between appointment like that. Okay, I'm kind of liking the way that looks. So I have a space for weather. I can put the temperature up here if I want, and then my appointment schedule, my mood, and my energy level. You know what? Let me do this. Let me grab these two things Let me try and put those in a table. That way they won't move around. Okay, so let's say, let's cut this and move it over. Cut, and we'll put it there. Paste, and then I can say mood. Still have my caps lock on. Mood, energy, and cut that. And we'll paste it in there. And it's big, so we'll make it smaller. We don't need it to be that big. Okay. And we can take out some of these spaces here. And then we still have a section for our notes. Okay. And I think I'm going to take out the week number as well. Okay. All right, so let's see. I've added my home and garden roll. I changed my daily tracker to be wins, gratitude, and kindness. I removed the daily planning and the weekly planning and changed it to my morning and my evening routines here. Um, like that. And let's get these all right, justified. Align left. There we go. We'll do it that way. And so that looks good. My mood and energy is up there at the top. We can take that space out like that. So I can just check that. And I've added the weather. So that's good. All right, I've got the links there. Okay, all right. So I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to get rid of these outside borders here. So I'm going to click in this blank space. I'm going to go up to the table menu and I'm going to say hide borders. And then my page actually looks like this. Now if I've got if I need more space here, I can, or I can move this over. Does that look okay like that? Yeah, I think that looks fine. Like I said, I can always add decor or something in here. I think that'll be fine. Okay? Now, there you go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this page as a template. Okay? So I'm going to go up to Insert, Page Template. I don't want it to say December 2025. I want it to say January 2026 because that's the pages that I'm going to use it for. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go up and say, set this page as a template. Okay? And down here at the very bottom, it says save current page as template. When I click that, it's going to say, what do you want to call it? And I'm going to say this is the 2026 daily template. Okay? And it says set as a default template for your current section. Okay? And I'm going to say no. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new section today and I'm going to set up all of the dailies there. So let's go up here to new section. We're going to get this kind of set up as a basic month. So we go up to new section and I'm going to call this basic month like that. Okay. Okay. So I have my basic month set up. What I want to do is I want to go to year long. I'm going to click on this daily page. Okay. And I'm going to move it to my basic month. Okay. So it's right there now. All right. When I click on the basic, the daily page, What I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I want to insert a page template, go to page templates, save this page as a page template, and I'm going to call it 2026 daily page, and set as default template for every page in this section. Okay, and then I'm going to click save. Okay, so far so good. We've set the page up the way we want it. We have the background and everything the way that we want it. And now every time we create a new page, it's going to create a daily page like that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to go to my untitled page. It's a blank page, and I'm going to insert a table, and I'm going to simply add the numbers, the days of the month. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. And I'm just hitting enter. Oops, 9, 10, 11, and adding the numbers. And I'm going to go ahead and add 31. I know not every month has 31, but some months do. Okay, and so I'm going to then highlight these, all of them, and I am going to right click, and I'm going to say link to pages. Now when I say link to pages, what it's going to do is it's going to create a page for every one of these numbers that I've created, and that page is going to have the template of the daily page that we just created. Okay, so if you look over here in the pages section, you should see the pages starting to appear 1 through 31. Okay, all right, let's see if this works. All right, so there are our pages. Let me close this template section so that you can see better. There are our pages 1 through 31, and when I click on page number 1, there is the page that we just created. And number 2, there is the page that we just created. Okay? And so on and so on and so on. All of them are exactly the same, all the way down to 31. Okay? Now, on this very first page where I have that whole list of numbers, you will see now that all of them now have lines underneath of them. Okay, now these are now my tabs. Okay, so I can customize these however I want. I can go through and highlight the whole thing, like so. Okay, and I can do some table shading on there. Let's say blue is my color for the month of January, so I want to do that. I can then also change the text color. Let's say I want to go, oh, I don't know. I kind of like the blue on blue, but I could do, I could make them black if I want. Okay, so they really stand out. I can then also highlight this, and I can go up here to justify, and I can put them in the center, and they not only center within my container, but they center within the cell. Okay, and then once I have it the way that I want it, what I do is I go in here and I right click and I say copy, and then I can go to page 1 out here on the side, paste on the side. I can paste, and I can add that to my notebook like that. Okay, and then if I click on a page from here, so let me zoom in so you can see. Let's say I click on page 18. What you'll see is that it will stay within the basic month, and it will take me down to page 18. Okay, and from there I can go up here and paste again, put it where I want it. Okay, And what I need to do now is I need to do that for every single page that I have. So quickly pasting, moving those links around, putting it where I want. If I need small movements, holding down my Alt key and getting it exactly where I want it to be. Okay? All right. Now, in looking at this blue, I'm thinking it's a little harsh with the green at the top. So I may change that before I do all of my pages, but you get the idea. That's all that you have to do is copy and paste and put it on every page. Okay? Now, the reason that I'm taking the time to do this and to get it the way that I want is because when I have this basic month, okay, and actually I can bring those other pages over here as well. When I have this basic month, and I have my dashboard page, which I'm going to move to my basic month, and I have my inbox page, which I'm going to move to my basic month. When I have this basic month set up exactly the way that I want it, with all of those pages that I can order by dragging them up to the top or moving them around however I would like. So there's my inbox at the top. There's my monthly dashboard. He's going to go to the top as well. Once I have them exactly the way that I want them, all I have to do for February is copy this whole section, and all of those links will still work in the new section. Okay, so instead of going from basic month, they will go to January, then they will go to February, then they will go to March. Okay, as I copy them forward. So it's important for me at the beginning of the year to take my time and to get these pages exactly the way that I want them so that I can use them the entire year through. Okay? All right, well, I hope you learned a lot today. As you can see, I'm running out of daylight, so I need to wrap this one up. Today we learned how to alter our daily page, how to create a template that we could use to generate all of the daily pages that we need for our notebook, and then to use that linked list, that linked column to create tabs down the side of our notebook. Quick and easy. I know it looks really complicated, but it really, really is not. Tables are your best friend in OneNote, in my opinion. Okay? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a lot. I am going to go back and figure out if this is actually the color that I want for my tabs. Maybe I want to do something else. We'll see. And I'm going to copy it and take it to all of my dailies and go ahead and keep working in my basic month. There will be more filming to come on another day when I have more daylight, and we're going to continue to build out those pages that I use for my basic month every single month. Okay? All right. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time. Okay. Bye.